Hey guys, Huzz here bringing you another video. Now welcome to an OP.GG review. I actually haven't done these in quite a while, so apologies for that. But I will say we might have a bunch of them over the coming days, obviously being the Christmas period. It's very stressful at the moment to make sure we get the content that I've promised, that there'll be no content breaks. With these, I still love these, and to people that I think they genuinely want to climb in League of Legends, I think these videos are very good, alongside with the Challenger Spectates. Though these two series might be my best educational, actual quality content, in terms of how much education you're getting per minute. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first person we're going for is Fizzy6759. I don't believe we've ever done one for Fizzy here, but obviously does seem to be a new ranked player. Season 8 is technically their first rank, which that, if I'm not mistaken, means that they did their placements in preseason. So they didn't even play. Oh, I know that they. Okay, no, season 9. Sorry, I'm wrong. The last season was their first season, but saying that, they still have only played 30 games of ranked. And most of them, it seems that, a few of them have been in the recent days. So, maybe 20 games of ranked for the whole of last season. So very much a new player. So we're just going to go over some little basic things that we may have. Again, the advice that I give has to scale to the player. There's no point overloading a brand new player with so many things. And obviously, yes, you could point out so many things, but there's no point. You give advice relevant to the person you're giving it to. So let's just say for 30 games, we have 8 champions. It's not too bad, not at all. But what I will say already, we can just note some of the KDs. It would, it does show that potentially you haven't practiced them as, before going into ranked. Your 1 Kane game, 2 and 5. 1 Galio game, not bad. So that one was an unfortunate loss. 3 and 8 though. You got your Caston there, you got a Swain there with under 100 farm average per game. So again, potentially there's a need for a little bit more practice in normals with certain champions before you take them into ranked. So that's one thing to say. Obviously, these are, by the way, the preseason stats. So in preseason, you've played a bunch of Aatrox and a little bit of Azir, but your Aatrox seems good. So again, that's something that I would definitely latch onto. So in preseason alone, you've played 7 games of Aatrox with a 71% win rate, with a not bad KD, a little bit high deaths, but that's fine, and 160 farm average. For a silver 4 player, low silver, that's perfectly fine. That's great, so potentially look to pick him up properly for next season. And there's been a bit of an Azir, which are these 3 games. Again, would Azir be a champion that I would recommend, a silver player to play? Again, not trying to be elitist, but just to make the point, Azir is one of the highest rated design champions in the game. Again, that is the champion that gets nerfed with a negative win rate because it's so good in high rating. I'm not sure if I would advise you to play Azir. I think there's definitely better picks that you could definitely do, that you'll have a lot easier time to play than Azir. Now, what I'm guessing, and again, it is a little bit flattering, is that in this span you've played Azir in this day, I've just uploaded 2 Azir games in the last week. So I'm guessing, I might be wrong, but you've watched those 2 games, gone, oh, Huzz makes that look really cool, it's really fun, I'm going to play it. Again, let's just quickly, normally I wouldn't do this, but let's go into normal view as well. You had no game normal practice? So yeah, these are your 3 Azir ranked games, and before that there was no normal games on Azir. So again, that's another piece of advice I would give you. Before you play something in ranked, play it in a normal game. And again, that's where I've always said, don't always copy what YouTubers do. Someone like me who's had years of experience, that ranked, honestly, it means a lot, but it doesn't mean as much as it probably would to a new ranked player. Each game doesn't mean a lot to me if I lose, whatever. But if you're brand new to ranked, each loss could be devastating. Practice before you go in normal games. That's fine. Hell, even flex queue, do that instead. If you want the happy medium of a normal game and solo queue, to me is flex. You're in a ranked environment, but people don't really care as much as solo queue. That's a good practice environment. I know there'll be probably some angry flex players going, no, that's not what flex queue's for. It's kind of what flex has turned into. It's the hardcore training environment. You train there instead of a normal game, then you go from flex to solo queue. So that's what I'd say. Furthermore, not a lot of warding. So you got 2 control wards this game, but then no control wards, none. So yeah, you're somebody that does not buy control wards. There's another thing to mention there. And that's all we're going to do. We're just going to leave you with that advice. I don't want to overload you. So control wards, practice in normal games or flex queue before you take it into ranked. And that's about it. So for next season, by the time we do you again, Fizzy, I'd like to see a lot more, you know, practice, basically, and more control wards. Those are the two big things moving forward. Next up is I think a returning player in terms of these. We have definitely done Jerdy before. I don't remember when, it was probably a while ago, but we can go over some, obviously, advice. So we played a bit of Nico, a bit of losses again. Just remind everybody, don't panic too much if you have a bad preseason. So Riot does take in account what you do in preseason for next season. They do, but not only. So this is why decay is turned off in preseason. You can be diamond and you don't have to play a single ranked game in preseason and you will not decay. They turn it off because they don't really value preseason as a good judge of what your rank has been or what it should be for the next season, because they know everybody's going to experiment. They know this is the time that people pick up new roles. So what they do is, as a percentage that I can roughly give, and again, this is rough, so don't take this as gospel, this is like not 100%, but roughly 75% of like what placements you're going to get, like your MMR, is from what you finished in the last season. So where you finished in Season 8 roughly will account for 75% of like where it's going to place you, and then 25% of that kind of MMR will be what you do in preseason. If you do nothing in preseason, you simply do not play any ranked, 100% of your MMR will go to where you finished. If you do play ranked in preseason and you climb, you can benefit from it. If you go down, yeah, it's going to hurt you, but not by much. So like me, I technically finished, I think, Season 8 around 60 LP in Diamond 3. My main account at the moment is sitting like 60 LP in Diamond 4. So with the new placements, if I don't play any more on my main account until January the 23rd, whatever the new season starts, my MMR will probably be about low Diamond 3 as like the in-between. So that's just something that I've had people ask me about. So, what have we been doing in preseason? So, we've got some Lucian with a positive win rate. Again, this is only preseason stats, this aisle here. That would be solo queue in general, but this is just preseason, which, by the way, I think includes normal games, and that's fine. Again, this is preseason. We're not going to just only do solo queue. This is about practice and learning things and picking things up. So, we got some Lucian. We're doing all right there. We've got some Jhin, we've got some Nico with a good win rate, we've got a negative win rate on LeBlanc, we've got a positive win rate on Azir, and I think from memory, Jerdy is an Azir main mainly, so we can look Season 8, there you go, so Season 8 stats, Azir, so it does seem, Azir and Malzahar mainly, but like vast majority of games being Azir, and then preseason, notice how Azir has crept below. So I think this is great. Like, this is exactly what preseason's about, and this is why I mentioned that Riot don't take preseason as like 100% your rank, because they know people are going to experiment more. They know the one tricks or the mains. This is their best time to practice things. That's not their main. So Azir's gone down on only 8 games played of Azir comparing to the season before. Like the season did a lot more. So playing a bit of AD carry, playing some Nico, playing a bit of LeBlanc, and that's really cool. So well done about that. I love to see people kind of open their variety up a bit. So as for the actual games, a bunch of control wards. So that's something that we do not need to mention. Maybe, and I will say, possibly too many in some regards. So look at this LeBlanc game. So you lost this LeBlanc game, and obviously we don't know the details. Maybe you bought 6 control wards because you were getting camped. But you bought 6 control wards in a 20-minute game when you only had 1 item completed. You know, those 6 control wards, they add up. That's 75 gold. And if you're buying that many in that short amount of time, you know, were they doing their job in the first place? Maybe it's just more about changing the playstyle of playing more back instead of buying more control wards and buying, you know, a new amp tome to get that damage that could make the difference. So that's what I'd say. It's good to see a lot of control wards, but Jesus, you buy a lot of control wards, which, you know, maybe you do it because right now you're in gold, high gold. Maybe you do it because your teammates are not buying them, so you're taking it upon yourself to do so, but I wouldn't sacrifice your own strength for control wards, honestly. That's kind of what more support wants to do. Like in this game, you buy 6, but you're on Taric support, and that makes more sense. But yeah, good to see experimentation. Your Nico games overall are going pretty good. Like, these two here obviously wouldn't help. So before these two games, your win rate would have even been better. Your KDA would have been better. The farm's not bad. So yeah, honestly, pretty good. I like to see that. And anything else that really, like, honestly, it's just a tick for me. Sometimes these reviews, they're not going to be, this is advice. It's more just like a tick. Keep doing what you're doing. And that's kind of what I like to see. Preseason's about experimentation, about learning new things, and that's exactly what you're doing. One thing right at the top here, you played 2 games of Kassadin, you got 2 wins. Why not more Kassadin? That's kind of the thing. If we look at, in preseason, you've played, 40 champions in preseason. That's a lot of champions in preseason. Again, it might be including normal games, I'm not sure. But again, in a normal, if we were doing this op.gg review in the middle of a season or beginning of a season, I'd say naughty, that's bad. But this is where the time of the year you've got to adjust. This is good. I love this because it's showing you what else you can play, what else is worth picking up, what else is worth maining in the upcoming season. Like, look, Echo, 2 great performances on Echo, 2 wins. Your Malzahar's still decent, and this is also, okay, 8 games of Ezreal, not great. So that's like, throw Ezreal out the window. This is a perfect time that I will say a lot of ranked players, what they do is they pick up stuff in preseason and that's it. Like, it's something that I would never do, but they pick what champion pool they are going to run for season 9 or whatever the upcoming season is, and they do not change it for a whole season. So they only play those 10 champions that they picked, and then the next preseason they change the 10 champions again. You could do that if you want to. That would be a very solid way of climbing in the next season. Your highest rank was gold. So you've been gold for a couple seasons. You were silver there. Hell, let's see platinum in this upcoming season. And I think you could do that if you have a core champion pool that you're very, be flexible about it. The season before, you were mainly playing Azir. You can be a bit more flexible about that. Like, there are some champions here that obviously, 40% win rate, 42% win rate. You probably want to avoid those. You played over, 30, nearly 30 games or more than 30 games of Yasuo with that, a pretty bad KDA. You need to recognize those quicker, and that would have been, counting those losses a lot more, they would have been gone. So that's something that I would recommend doing. Anyway, that's that. But honestly, I really like to see that you're playing a lot more, which is great. Okay, next one. I don't know what server this is. Gods of War or Murphy. Okay, I think must be it. So let's do an update. There's already one thing that I've noticed that I don't like, but I would say it's probably a little bit of personal preference. So, good improvement. So, from Season 7, you were Bronze 1, and you've made your way to Gold 4. Not many ranked games, so you must have had a decent placement. So, you must have done well in your 10 games at the beginning of the season, and then you've climbed from there. Mainly abusing Renekton, I can see, but that's fine. You are playing other champions. Oh, wait, is this a Smurf? Okay, this potentially could be a Smurf, because I just thought, hang on, there's a little bit of dodginess going on here, so I don't know what the deal is with this account. We're going to include this, but I'm going to move on very quickly. But, 100% win rate, so this to me must be a Smurf. I don't know how you are Bronze if you're a Smurf. Hopefully there's nothing dodgy going on. Hopefully this is your own account, because if it's not, I'll just say rioters do watch these videos, but we're going to just move on very quickly. But well done. I'll give you a pat on the back. Right, next one, the Inevitable. So let's see, any improvements? So not mainly. Let's just do an update just to make sure we're in like the most recent games. So we were silver in Season 6, then gold, and we're still in gold. So we need to kind of try and get some improvement there. Let's change that to ranked. Okay, so in preseason, we've not played that much, and again, so there's not a lot I will be able to go off, unfortunately. But you've played only 3 ranked games in the whole of preseason, but a really good Kai'Sa performance. In your Season 8, you were a Darius main, Vel'Koz, Urgot. Any Kai'Sa there? I don't see it unless I've missed it. No Kai'Sa. So potentially, that one Kai'Sa game is a potential opening to you kind of experimenting with, hey, maybe I want to play AD carry instead, which again is perfect for preseason. Like, so many people play less ranked in preseason, when I think it should be the opposite. You should play more if you're wanting to climb the next season, because this is the perfect time to like learn what you're good and bad with. So yeah, like, your Swain performance there's good. The Kai'Sa's great. A very good champion to climb with and very good carry. So in preseason, I'd say play more is my biggest advice. Play more just so you can kind of experience more, like, without risking too much, if that makes sense. Because preseason, there isn't much of a risk. All right, next one, just to player 103. We are updating, and we'll probably do this one and maybe one more after this. So, we're in EUS. We are silver in Season 6, silver, gold. So, gold last season was achieved. Gold 275 LP, but I am guessing that was you just got demoted and then boom, the season ended. But yeah, it's still gold. That's great. That's an improvement from Season 7. So, what we'd want to see is try to get platinum in the next season. Try to, get that improvement running. So, we are a Twitch player with a bit of Katarina, with a bit of Vayne, with a bit of Gragas, with a bit of Kha'Zix. What was the champion pool in Season 8? So the champion pool in Season 8 was Riven. So again, there's a big alarm bell that I'm sure a lot of people can spot right now. Big alarm bell. That would explain a little bit. Then Vayne, which, good alarm bell. Yasuo, not a bad alarm bell. A Jinx, ding-a-ling-a-ling. Let's try and focus on what is obvious first. So, 203 ranked games of Riven, and overall a 49% win rate. I know the KD isn't bad, but what is important is win rate when it comes to an individual. Like, again, I know some people get confused. Huz, you say win rates aren't important. For individual champion balance, not really. Because what's important is about individual players. And as an individual player, your direct win rate as an individual is what's stopping you from climbing. When you've got a negative win rate on your most played champion, stop playing that champion. Or go back to the drawing and, the drawing books. And again, let's just make sure there's that right. Okay, so I will say it's a little bit worse. So you do play a bit of flex and Riven is still there. So in flex queue, slight positive win rate. But in solo queue, the win rate is actually 48%. Oish. My only advice that I know some people aren't going to like me saying is don't play Riven. I reckon you'd probably be able to climb a lot more if you don't play that champ. And a lot of people going, oh, it's not that bad. It's only, a 6-game deficit. It's not just that. It's the fact that the time that you're investing in playing Riven, so that's a lot of games. 71 games of your season are losses on one champion that you've got a negative win rate with. That's a lot of time that you're investing in a champion that you're not really climbing with. So unless you're just playing for, fun, which is fine, continue playing Riven. If your climbing isn't your main goal, go for it. Like, that is completely fine. It's not that bad. I'm sure you have fun with the Riven. You are somebody that gets pentakills and stuff, so that's awesome to see. But straight away, we can say your Vayne, 61% win rate. You get more pentakills, you got more quadra-kills, you got more triples, you got more doubles. So your Vayne might be better right away, which also does show in the KDA and the win rate. So that's one thing. Your Yasuo, even though I would not really recommend that champion, seems better than your Riven. KDA is better. You're still getting all pentakills, triple kills, and the win rate's better. Your Jinx seems potentially your best champion if you were to play it more. A 78% win rate with an insane KDA with still pentas and quads and stuff. So I'd say you've got what it takes to climb. Like 100%, I'm going to say that right now, but you've just got to recognize a champion that is probably holding you back, which is Riven. And I know a lot of people love playing Rivens and stuff like that because they watch Box, whoever. My advice, if you are somebody that loves Riven, continue playing it. You do play a bit of flex. Play your Riven in flex queue so you don't lose the mechanics of Riven. Don't play it for the first half of Season 9 and see how that goes and how you're climbing with playing like these other champions. And if you get to a rank that you're finally happy with and you have that urge to play Riven, well, then play it then. You've got to that rank. It's like, oh, dude, I got to Platinum 2. Oh, I'm going to start playing Riven now. But you achieved that rank first. And hell, by the time you achieve that Platinum 2, you might be like, I don't want to play Riven. I've got here without that champion. I don't need her anymore. I'm gonna continue playing the champions that worked for me. I'm gonna keep climbing. That's up to you. But my advice, again, whether you listen or not, that is completely fine. That's the point of these videos. You don't have to listen. It's just my advice. Don't play Riven and see how it goes. But other than that, you've got great, you've got more pentas than me, and obviously it's a different rank, but still, like, that's pretty good. Great carry potential. And again, when 70 of these losses are on one champion, to me, that seems like a no-brainer. But what I would say, your preseason, have you played any Riven in preseason? Let's see. So you have played one Riven game in preseason, so you are still a little bit playing it, but not a lot, which is good. But obviously, yeah, great performances here on Kha'Zix and Gragas. Not bad on Vayne, just one loss deficit. That's not bad at all, but great KD. So yeah, that's what I'd say, is probably drop the Riven and see how that goes. Alright, so next one and final one for this video is Lunar Tales, and it's on North America. I think this might be our first North American for this video, if I'm honest. Alright, so let's just do an update just to make sure we're in the most recent profile, view, which apparently is taking its time, because obviously it does when you're recording a live video. Any moment now, ladies and gentlemen. What I will say as well, I mentioned at the beginning of the video while we're waiting for this to load, there may be a couple episodes of this over the next couple of days. And by the time I get back into recording, there may be another one as well, because this is just nice content to do. So in the comments of this video, leave your summoner name and leave your region, and I'll pick a bunch of people for the next, not the next episode, but the episode after that. I'll pick a bunch of people from the comments. All right, so we're up to date. We are Bronze Season 6, Silver Season 4, Silver Season 8. So there has been one tier improvement overall, and obviously, by the way, we're not counting like this, which I don't normally go in. You can see here, I could look at the peaks, but yeah, it doesn't really, you're not playing a lot of ranked at all at the moment. And that's why I normally don't really look at that. So we played overall 35 games with a positive win rate, so that does mean that the system knows, and what if you know in yourself, you should play more. Not a lot to go off here, so this is going to be a short ending to this video. But in preseason, negative win rate, one game, one win. So the best place for us to probably learn a little bit here is probably in your season 8 stats. So here we go. This is a bit better, but again, not a lot of games to go off. So it's identifying patterns is what I'd say. So Zyra support, good. 69% win rate is obviously your main by far, and obviously your best performer, so keep playing that. And it's up to you whether you want to expand. Again, my advice is never be a one trick. And it seems you're trying to expand, but maybe you haven't fully committed to. Like, your Ashe is okay, but I would not recommend Ashe in season 8 or 9. She's a bit too outdated to work in solo queue, I would say. Severe is a great champion, and your KDAs aren't bad. Again, don't be off-put by just one more loss than win when it's only 3 games. So maybe look to play a little bit more Severe. Misfortune, 3 losses in a row, not as great. Look at just the raw stat comparison in both 3 games. 235 farm, 165, so clearly your Severe is a little bit more on point. Yeah, your Janna is for a secondary support. Where's more Janna games? Janna's a great support for solo queue. Great performances here, great KDs with a 100% win rate in 2 games, so potentially look to pick Janna up a little bit more. And I'd probably say, as somebody that's climbed the ladders a lot, and this is where a lot of people are going to be getting confused, the higher rating you go, the more useful Janna will become over Zyra. So if you're just comparing those 2 champions, when you probably get to like Platinum, if you do, Janna will suddenly become a much stronger pick for you and your AD carry than Zyra would. Because the main reason is Zyra can get abused a lot more through her weaknesses, because Janna is overall a very strong champion. So potentially look to play a little bit more Janna. Your Ezreal, again, even win rate, but great stats, great farm. So potentially that's something that you could look at. So my advice for you, experiment a little bit more, especially now in preseason. Your Zyra's fine, so keep playing that. I'd recommend playing a bit more Janna, because she's great at higher rating. And for your AD carry, I'd actually probably say Ezreal as your main choice, or practice him more and then Severe. And if you want, just have those 4 champions, that's okay. So Zyra, Janna for support, and Ezreal, Severe for AD carry. Move forward with that champion pool, see how you do, and you can experiment and, expand it as you get better at the game. But that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, throw a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't. Again, comment down below with your region and summoner name, and I'll pick some people, not for the next episode, the episode after that. But yeah, have a good Christmas time. This video is probably going to be uploaded sometime during the time that I'm having off. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.